Welcome everyone to Hubbard Investigations YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notifications. It's the little bell in the lower right hand corner. So is Brain Laundrie really dead? Let's begin by watching the FBI's brief press conference from yesterday.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael McPherson. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI Tampa Division. As you're aware, the FBI and the Northport Police Department and our state and local law enforcement partners have been searching the area of the Carlton Reserve for Brain Laundrie, a person of interest in the murder of Gabby Petito. Earlier today, investigators found what appears to be human remains, along with personal items such as a backpack and notebook belonging to Brain Laundrie. These items were found in an area that up until recently have been underwater. Our evidence response team is on scene using all available forensic resources to process the area. It's likely the team will be on scene for several days. I know you have a lot of questions, but we don't have all the answers yet. We are working diligently to get those answers for you. We are grateful for the dedication and professionalism of the Northport Police Department, along with our partners from the state and local agencies. Complex investigations such as this cannot be accomplished by one agency alone, but there's just too many agencies to name them all here today. Portions of the Myakkahatchee Creek Environment Park and Carlton Reserve will remain closed to the public until further notice. This is an active and ongoing investigation, so we ask the public to maintain distance from any law enforcement personnel, equipment, vehicles, and other related activity for the safety of the public and to protect the integrity of our work. We have no additional comment related to today's activities. Our FBI Denver office is the lead investigative agency, and all future inquiries should be directed to them. We appreciate the tremendous support from the public and continue to ask for your assistance in bringing this investigation to close. Thank you.
Was the backpack found near the body? Justice for Gabby! Justice for Gabby!
Okay, so let's discuss what the FBI said as well as some of the other media outlets and what they've reported. So to begin with, we're back at the Carlton Reserve where the parents have said that Brian was all along. And there was a tremendous search from law enforcement that they put out to search that area, and they came up empty-handed. But as we sit here today, some huge discoveries took place yesterday. Number one, the parents went back to the preserve yesterday, Wednesday morning. That's when the preserve first opened back up to the public. And so they went in early, and they went to some of the trails that they knew that Brian frequented. And lo and behold, allegedly, they found some personal items, to wit, his backpack and notebook. And according to some of the reports, there was no law enforcement in there with them at the time, but there was media personnel. So Mr. Laundrie, Chris, took the backpack from where he found it and then contacted law enforcement, who came in and further search. I don't know if the parents found this or not, but apparently they did find some human remains in close proximity. And apparently the backpack was, as described, maybe 20 feet from the main trail that he was on. So let's talk about why maybe some of that was found now, but yet they didn't find it earlier. Well, the FBI is alleging that previously this area was underwater. And so now, without getting a lot of rain like we were getting a couple of weeks ago, that now that water has subsided and now these items have become in view. So they didn't come out and say that it's Brian's body. They never even said they found a body. They said they found human remains. And so that leaves it to us to speculate, and that's all we're really doing at this point. And let's be clear again, that I'm a private investigator, and I'm not working this case in conjunction or for the family at all on this case whatsoever. So these are just my speculations from my own experience and from what information I've seen, what's possibility that could have happened here. And so it just appears to me that if they've only found human remains, and they are most likely Brian Laundrie's, they were found in proximity to this area. And this area, it's a swampy area that is known for alligators and snake infestations. So to me, the most likely scenario would be that unfortunately he was attacked by an alligator. It would have to take a very large alligator at that to attack him and to consume most of him, where there's only certain remains left. So I can assure you that evidentiary team that's led by the FBI out there right now, one of the things, they're not only looking for more remains of the body, they're also looking for the animal, potentially an alligator, that's large enough that would have been responsible for it, so that they can find out if in fact that is, the manner of death that he had. So we don't know. The FBI hasn't said what items of the human remains are left, whether there was a torso, if there were limbs, or if there's just bones. But obviously it takes something. Now in that area, if you can Google it yourself and see, there's bears in that area and there's panthers, things, and obviously venomous snakes that could have, caused his death. But to me, a bear and a panther are not going to eat enough that would just be remains. But it could be. I don't know. He could have drowned. He could have been self-inflicted prior to this happening. We just don't know at this point. And I don't know that they're going to recover enough remains and whatnot to find out how he died, and what was the cause of death. Again, it could have been self-inflicted or drowning, or a venomous snake could have bit him, and while he was laid up, an alligator, could have made him a meal, unfortunately. And it's sad. No matter what happens, it's sad. Not only did they lose Gabby Petito, that family lose her, but now the Laundries have lost their son as well. Regardless of how you feel about the case, we certainly want justice, but we're not advocating this barbaric type of death. So let's talk about what would be next. So obviously the FBI is combing the area for any additional human remains that might be there, or any other personal property, things from the backpack, how far it might have been strewn, what was he dragged to that area by an animal, what else took place and what they could get, and if they could find the animal. But then there are also what pieces they do have, they're going to be doing DNA testing, and that clearly by itself will determine whether or not this was Brian Laundrie's body. So the evidentiary team, the recovery team, that's, again, led by the FBI. There's Northport Police, and I'm sure other law enforcement agencies out there. They're going to be scouring this area kind of like you would for, some ancient artifacts, because that's what they're going to do, and that's why the place is going to be closed to the public, because they don't want you contaminating it, and they don't want you, that's the real deal, and they don't want anybody else finding some potential pieces of evidence that they want to find and preserve properly. So that's really where we're going to sum up today, and that's, we're going to have to wait and see how soon that the FBI is going to give us back what the DNA results are, and from that point, I'm sure they'll make another press release, and like they said at the end of their press release, that this case, is coming to a closure. I think that they believe, like most of us do, that that is most likely Brian Laundrie's body there. So to go back and answer, is Brian Laundrie really dead? Well, we don't have 100% confirmation of that, but in all the evidence points to that is his body. I mean, the parents have already confirmed that was the backpack that he carried to the woods that day, and his vehicle was found near there, and now they are finding his human remains in close proximity to it as well. So it just makes sense. And that's why everybody said all along to begin with, this was not a smart place to go to try to live off the grid, if you will, because it's such a dangerous environment. So we'll just have to stand by now and wait and see when the FBI is going to get back with us and release facts. I wouldn't be chasing any of the conspiracy theories, of anything. I mean, there's so many of them that are out there. It's just crazy. Of course, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. You guys already know that. So I believe in putting all of them in one room. But let's just stand by and wait for the evidence, and let's see what it is. So that's my speculation, and that's what I believe that we are as we sit here today. Hopefully on our video next week, we'll be able to bring you more facts about the case. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications button in the lower right. In the comments below, let us know your thoughts and any requests you might have for future videos. Thank you.